Hello, my dear friends. I'm going to present something about changing glaciers in Sikkim Himalayas. Why? Because I'm concerned about the things going around Tista River Basin, which is fed by Himalayan ice, which melts and provide water to it. So I will give you a brief introduction about glaciers, then what are the glaciers in Sikkim Himalayas, why Jemu Glacier is the special one, and what is glacial lakes and what they have to do with the disasters happening there, and glacial lakes statistics and changes and what are the threats they're posing, and impacts of melting glaciers in that region. Finally, there will be references you can see. Now, glacier is something which year on year when the snow melts and keep falling. So every year it melts, then more snow comes, then again it freezes. So this cycle keeps going, and in this way the ice comes front and then it retreat, come front and then retreat. But if the ice retreat but do not come much front, then what will happen is a disaster, a dam kind of thing will be formed. So glacier is fallen ice, compressed large masses, and for millions of years, in that way, a glacier is formed. Now you can see that in a glacier there are dots here, there are lakes here. Uh, you can see around these are the lakes which are formed in the glaciers, and if they start forming, so they enter inside the glacier and then they break the glacier and the big mass of glacier goes off. It is not a small mass, it is like a kind of a size of a small village. So you can imagine how much water can come down suddenly. So uh, if something, because pollution is increasing, so this carbon goes on and settle down on that snow, and you know that it reduces the reflectivity of the snow, and global warming is already there. So the lakes formation inside this glacier is becoming rapid. So glacier matters for us because they lead to sea level rise, they balance the surface energy, ocean circulation is influenced by glaciers, drinking, fisheries, agriculture, we all use glacier waters. All the water that comes in Ganga or whatever rivers coming from Himalayas, it from melting of glaciers only, and it is good for economy. But then, if the glaciers melt, lot of runoff can happen and hazards will happen. So that will destroy the whole biodiversity and the habitats nearby. These two things are there. I will not go much technical, but there is an ablation zone, that the loss of ice from the glacier by melting, by evaporation, by calving, that is breaking of the ice, and by deflation. Now, supraglacial lake is something which you just saw in the previous slide, the dots which were formed. So they occur at the lower sloping size, that is called a glacier tongue. So decrease in the driving stresses and glacier velocity. So they reduces the glacier velocity also, and then they break it also, and this melt water keep accumulating inside those things. Now this is the Jemu glacier. It's interesting to see in last many years, in 2018 and 1930. So 1930, you can see it's a very big line, a very big part it used to be, but today 2018 only red part. So you can see that a lot of part got melt away or broken or reduced to nothing but just rock. Now in this time period you can see the rate of change of glacier is increasing, glacier area. So it is the reduction rate of loss, it is not increase in the area, it is rate of loss which is happening in the Sikkim Himalayas. So this is a blue color part is the glacier part, and you can see this is the Tista River basin. Now you can see that these boxes are the glacial lakes which are forming. Okay, at the top. Now you see, we are concerned about supraglacial lake, not these three types. But the supraglacial lake is something which, you see, it started in 1991, then 2000 became bigger, in 2017 became much bigger. So when it forms in the middle of the ice, it can break a huge amount of ice. Okay, because it starts from a small one. In this case, other cases they were already there, they didn't join, but supraglacial lakes join with each other and they form at the lower slope, which makes them more dangerous. Now I'll play this video and I want you to watch it carefully. Now they are connected, they form a larger lake, and at the lower end, the ice fall in it, and the whole water comes down and take out the whole thing. The same thing happened recently in Sikkim at the Teesta River basin. Same thing happened. Now, these supraglacial lakes forms moraine dams, and these moraine dams are not like our dams. They are just made of sand and they can get broken. So from 1990, this lake started forming. They become larger, and finally it formed a red color line, that is moraine dam, and your lake was formed. Now you can see the numbers. In Jemu Glacier, the number of lakes are much higher, 249. The area is 19.34 kilometers, and you can see that Moraine Dam Lake are much higher in Tista Basin, which make it vulnerable. Now, supraglacial lakes in 1975 they were just 22, but 2017 record says 55, and now there will be much more. The area has been tripled by now. Now you can see how they are increasing every year. Now you can see these numbers, they are all supraglacial lakes forming, and you can say that with the numbers, the change. You see only Moraine Dam lakes, their area is increasing, which is very dangerous. So there are many threats posed by these glacial lakes. You can see that they cause calving process in which the whole thing break down. I'll show you another video also. Then because water absorbs more heat, snow reflects more heat. So snow keeps the region cool, but once the lake is formed, it absorbs more heat and make the region warmer. Now, just one earthquake, one avalanche is enough to break that Moraine Dam lake, and catastrophe will be there. Now you can see that how once the lake is formed, slowly water keeps piercing down, ultimately breaking a very large sheet of ice. And this ice, once it goes inside the larger lake, it will just break the Moraine Dam. Now there are a lot of impacts of this in Sikkim Himalayas. High altitude wetlands are there, so they change the whole biota. They just cause like say, landslides or glacial rate outbursts, floods can happen, which happened recently, and potential threats to power projects, which without any adequate research they start doing, their construction because they just want to show developments. On Teesta Basin, lot of projects are there and lot of loss happened recently. That's why I am uploading this video now. And the region is already became warmer. Winters are warmer by 2 degrees and summers are already hot by 1 degree. Now, this thawing of permafrost and decrease in the depth of frozen soil has threatened all the human settlements in that region. They became climate refugees now. Now, population dependent on this river is fed by this melt water. So there are two conditions now. Either water doesn't come down because it is getting stuck in the lakes above, or when it comes in the form of flash flood. So in both the situations, either drought or flash flood. So people are at lot of risk and their lives are vulnerable. So these are some references. You can see them in the video description also down. You can read them if you are enthusiastic about knowing more about it. And thank you very much. Neha Gaur wrote somewhere that glaciers are melting and our hearts are frozen. And this is so true in today's time. Thank you very much.